G'day and welcome back to Higgo's Heroes. This week we got the 4 state representatives, Tim Kelly, Haiden Schloithe, Ryan Cook and Ben Saunders. How are you all going?
Really well. Good, thank you, mate. Good.
Really good. Now, first of all, boys, congratulations. Pretty massive feat. Does it feel like you've accomplished anything? Does it feel like you've accomplished something big now, or do you think it'll settle in, in years to come when you retire, or something to tell your kids that you're the first WA team to beat Vics in Vic? Saundo?
Yeah, I think it feels pretty good. Like we touched on it before we played in that, and certainly on Saturday night after we'd won, I think we realised it was something big. So I think we'll probably look back at it as well and reflect later on. But yeah.
What about you, TK?
Yeah, no, it's definitely something special. I'm just happy that, like I say, I was a part of it. But yeah, I think. It's something I'll reflect on a bit later on too.
No worries. And you've all played state before, I believe. Yeah, you've all represented WA before. Did this time feel any different, the preparation and what happened after, or was it the same as last time?
Yeah, I think this time was a little bit different, knowing the circumstances of going over to Melbourne and obviously never beating the Vics and Vics. So it was probably the build-up was probably a little bit different to obviously my first game against the NEFL. But it was just obviously another game of footy in the end.
And Cookie, how did you feel being Victorian and representing WA? Does it feel weird, or is it just another game?
No, it would have felt a lot weirder if it was in my first or second year over here, but I've been here 7 years now, so...
West Australia now, are you?
Yeah, I think I am, mate. You call me a West Australian?
Yeah, nah, you're a Victorian, mate.
So, yeah.
You're too weird. Now, everyone played pretty well, exceptionally well, actually. Was there any instruction from the coach, or did you have certain roles or set players, or was it just go out there and play your natural game sort of thing? Schloithe?
No, we had a bit of a meeting. When was it, last Monday night, to go through how broad he sort of wanted us to play. So, but in the end, really, in these sort of games, you just got to trust your instincts and play footy, and I think we did that on Saturday.
Yeah, it was good. And what about the skill level? Like, it looked pretty good on TV. Did you notice a difference in the skill level and like the pace of the game, T?
Yeah, the skill level was definitely a step above, and the pace of the game. But as the game sort of went on, like as soon as you get the ball in your hand or your first tackle or whatever, you seem to settle in really, really easily. So yeah, it was just another game in the end.
Now, Mr. Simpson, talk me through it. When did you realise that you're on for a massive day?
Probably after my second snagger roll. So I kicked the first one and then the second one just stuck, like when I went up for a mark, and then I went back and slotted it and felt pretty good. So I think after that, the boys might have looked for me a bit and got me going.
Now, how many opponents did you have for the day, mate?
I rolled through a few, I think.
You're just telling me you had 18.
Yeah, it wasn't quite 18. I think it might have been more around 3, but probably 18.
And what was your favourite goal for the day? Have any favourites or favourite point? Because you kicked a few of those too.
I hit the woodwork a couple of times, which is always fun. Fat posts. It's not regulation. But probably my first one where I snapped it from outside 50 and dribbled through. That was probably my favourite one.
Yeah, I like that one too. Now, enough of the serious stuff. Let's talk about after the game, boys. I was getting a few lewd Snapchats at all hours in the morning from a few different players. What was it like after the match? What did you do straight after? Did you meet up with the Vics, or did you just all go do your own thing?
No, we sunk some tins with the Vics after the game. There was a club room at the Oval, so we put some Carlton draft down. Got to look after the sponsors. So, yeah, punched a few of them in, and then ended up going to a pub called the Rising Sun in Richmond, which Big Paul Johnson organised for us, which I was into him about, because it's usually a pub you go to for a Mad Monday in Melbourne. It's concrete floors and a bit rough, so, but it ended up being good.
He's a Frankston boy, he's pretty rough.
Yeah. So ended up being good. There was probably 10 to 20 other patrons in there, and we just got to sat around and dissect the game, I suppose, in the week, and then it was out after that.
Yeah. Who was the last home out of you boys?
I was first back. I was done by about 12 o'clock, I think. The old man took me home. But, the boys woke me up when they got back.
What time was that?
6 o'clock.
So he hit us up before we went out. He said, I'm a bit excited, boys. I think I'm going to get a bit slippery tonight. So can you look after me? And his dad ended up taking him home at midnight.
I wouldn't let these animals look after me. Who was the most wild? Schloithe?
Schloithe nearly got in the most fights. If by wild you mean that. Yeah. But Schloithe then. But Cook was a close second, I reckon. He wore some weird beanie all night.
I've heard about this beanie. Why'd you wear a beanie all night? Is this your obsession with wigs and hats and beanies? Is it because of something?
I gotta cover the melon up somehow. But no, I had a bet with Leroy Jetta at the pub at the Rising Sun. There was a Bomber supporter sitting down having a pint by himself, and I just bet him that he couldn't go up and get his beanie off him, and sure enough, he did. The guy ended up hugging him by the end of it and gave it to him. So I wore a Bomber beanie all night without the pom-pom.
Now, just a quick, I'll just go around and answer these two questions. What was your favourite moment from the game and your favourite moment from the trip?
Favourite moment from the game's probably when the siren went, and then we all got really happy. And then my favourite moment for the trip was probably
Say it.
probably standing at Cook's store trying to get in early hours, and he'd empty out 24 cards out of his wallet and he couldn't find his room key, so he just banged on the door for 20 minutes. Yeah, we got in. Yeah, so that was my highlight.
T?
Favourite part of the game, I'd say probably the siren. I was just sort of happy that it was over. Favourite part of the trip, I'd probably say the Macca's feed the next day.
Scooter?
Favourite part of the game was probably Broady's pre-game speech. Got everyone sort of up and about, and everyone was sort of on edge. Favourite part of the trip was probably after the game when everyone was sort of in the change rooms, sitting down, having a good laugh, having a few beers and that.
Cookerin?
Favourite part of the game was probably... No, I'm not saying that. My favourite part of the game was sitting back, really, and watching these three go at it. All dominated in their own way. We never had the ball in the 50, even 60. I was just pointing at the goals, telling them to have a shot. So it was just good to watch. These three kill it. Favourite part of the trip, pre-game. Me, no, shut up, man.
Were you a tagger?
Nah, whatever, bro. That was five of us, me, Saunders, Swanee, a few others went for a walk on Chapel Street. Anyway, I was looking for a salad roll and there was this dog shit on the ground. Anyway, we ended up bypassing it, and as luck would have it, the shop was the other way, so we ended up walking back past the shit and everything slowed down. I'll be real quick because I can tell a story. This poor girl was striding towards it and she's just taking a step over it, and we all looked at her and her heel has hit it and she has slid about a metre. Poor thing was going out to fucking have a shop and she's stuck on the wall, and we couldn't help but break down and lose. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That was pre-game too, so it was good. Got me up and about. Hope you're not watching.
Yeah, sorry, love. Now, boys, final part. I know this is from Mrs. Higgins. She's made you up all little fridge magnets. She sells them down here at the club for $5 a pop.
Oh, brilliant.
And all the money goes to the footy trip, so no doubt these will be on sale. They're little state fridge magnets.
Did we get a oh, they're okay.
Yeah, little magnets.
Oh, right.
Do you want to make your badge as well?
Yeah, please.
So, yeah, thanks, Mrs. Higgins, for those. The boys love it.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.